So we're going to do a trail test on these two. The one that I've got in this is a 2024 Can-Am Defender Limited Lone Star with the JL Audio roof, and it has the front smart locker, as you can see here. A lot of you have asked, is it worth waiting or worth getting the smart lock over the regular one? The only thing that I could say is, to me, it is. Here's why. For one, I think it would hold resale a whole lot better than the non-smart lock because of how nice it is to have. But now that they come with smart lock, a lot of people are going to try to avoid the ones without smart lock. And also, this trail is, nothing major. But if you are, putting your tires up on things and you're trying to go through trails, the smart lock is so nice, and it works so well as far as it engaging the front differential up here with your two wheels. And for instance, like if there's two logs in a row or something, and you go up over the first one and your wheel drops, a lot of times, it took the other one like a half a turn or 3/4 of a turn to kind of pulse in. And then what it would do is, if you had all the traction to one wheel, it would actually not put any power to it and try to put the power to the other one. And it just didn't do near as well. It does fine, but I would want one with the smart lock if it was me. And like I said, I had a question about that in the last video, and I would want it, but it might not be something you have to have. Just think about what I was just saying. We're going to take both of these over this and just kind of show clearance. This is not factory. This has a 32-inch tire on it, and it is a hairline taller than what this is. But both of these have good clearance, and we're just going to show them through this trail, kind of show how they do. Just from driving this 2024 Can-Am Defender compared to the 23 and the other ones, with the smart lock on at slower speeds, if you're cruising real slow, you can tell it more in the steering wheel. It seems like it's got a little more pushback as far as its steering, and I'm sure that's from it trying to figure out if it needs to lock up or not. But it does lock up a whole lot faster, giving you a much better reaction time to your four-wheel drive.
They're good.
Look like I lined it up. Right.
Yeah, it didn't even look like the same thing though, because yours is so smooth.
There's so much more flex
yeah.
in this, and that's
that one teetered.
A lot of people in there, you know, when you're looking at these machines, these have roughly 10 to 12 inches of travel, and also your spring rate. You know, when you look at these springs here, it's a single spring in there that is wound tighter at the top. So even though it says, you know, 12 inches, to get that 12 inches, you've got to push those wheels extremely hard, whereas something like this has a dual rate, and it's able to smash both spring rates and let it flex out. And this is more of a long travel setup from the factory, so it just gives you so much more agility, and you don't feel like you're kicking yourself over and up and rocking the boat at near as much. It just lets your whole suspension travel a lot more. And I know a lot of you guys that are looking into these are like, do I really have to have that suspension travel? Like I was saying, if you're farming and stuff like that, I mean, the Defender's perfectly fine. We've took them all over the place, Brimstone, Wildcat, a blue million other places, and we've never had an issue where we had to have something like this. Now, I will tell you, on real rough terrain, when you're going through with this thing here, it just floats. And as you can see there, just that little bit of going slow, you've got so much more travel that it makes it smoother. So it's just one of them things that if you want the smoothest deal, but like we was talking about before, you can buy that for $35,000, and this is almost $10,000 more dollars. So it's kind of one of the things you just gotta, is it really justifiable for you? The only thing I see a lot of people saying, well, I'm gonna buy the Defender, I'm gonna put long travel on it, I'm gonna put shocks, you know, I'm gonna put all these things on it. The thing that I would tell you is you're gonna widen your machine way out. You're still not gonna have you might have the travel numbers, but your wheels are gonna stick so far out from the machine because it's not made from that in the factory. You're gonna have a harder time on trails. Your turning radius will be way bigger. There's so many factors that go into that. When something's made from the factory to really have suspension travel and stuff, it gives you that bundle up front. And you know, I don't know that you could ever get a form factor in that Defender for it to be something like this. I really don't. I think you'd have to do so much modifications. You would have to take the bed off. It would just be a lot. But just keep that in mind when you're looking at these, and hopefully this will help some of you guys. We got some more on the way. And you could put 32s on this and get more ground clearance. Just want to give you guys a good visual from the factory of how much, you know, the ground clearance is on these. And if you're looking at Xpedition, you're probably going to put 32s on it. This isn't really a test of which one's better than other ones. It's just showing you guys, you know, some ground clearance things. This is the predicament you get in on trails, and this is just a scenario. But both of these machines are long and big. If you're looking at these, you know, XP5 or the Can-Am, you know, Max, turning these things around takes multiple forward, backwards, turning, and it, you know, like I said, it gets fun.
here's a win for you. So, you know, I can't see behind me. That's what's so good about the Ride Command. So a lot of times you're going to take a different sight line, and that way you can actually see. So I'm going to pull up and get this thing converted around. Find yourself looking backwards more than you did at the dash. It is nice to have the Ride Command. Like I've said in a million videos, it's not a necessity like some people say, but it is handy.
You can see out of this Defender extremely well. That's one of the things I really like about it. It's field of view, and I know I've said that so many times, but I can't express it enough. And if you ever go sit in one of these, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm sure it doesn't translate through video, but you know, when you're driving these small trails, the more you can see, the less work you have to do, and visually you can just see out of this thing. I mean, just like I'm walking around outside, and I really admire that. I don't know as far as the, you know, rigidity on the actual top part, if it would be as good as, you know, the Ranger or one of those, but it seems like to me that it works really well, and I've not had any issues out of them. You're good. I just took a different line. Just meet me up here. We're gonna go up here and do another test as far as the, and see this, this is pretty neat. You got 2, 4, and then front locking diff, and you can hear it up there click in, and then you see 2 locks on your screen there. And it really does, I mean, it's totally different. You can see I don't even have this wheel on the ground. Nowhere near what I did before, and I know the other Defender would have struggled when it got one wheel off the ground. The locking front diff is a game changer for the Can-Am, and everybody's always complained about Can-Am not having a locking diff. And you know, the Visco lock, it does work, but it's just not as good as something like a Smart Lock or Polaris's locker, and I've said that in a million videos. I would still take a Visco lock Defender over a Polaris Ranger, normal one, not the 1500, but then you're talking price difference. Hey, beautiful. So this should really show how tipsy they can get, and also show the Smart Lock working compared to something like the Polaris has. So just try to pay attention to the wheels and the teeter and how they kick up and stuff. This is probably 4 foot tall, but it's got this root at the bottom, and you know, it's nothing crazy, but it's something that someone could mess up on if they didn't know what they was doing, but we'll see how it does. I feel much more confident in this machine when I'm driving it. And like I said, you can't translate all that through video, but it's just how you feel the terrain. You don't feel like the machine is moving with every angle of the ground because of how this thing flexes and everything. But let's see if it translates on this.
Good.
I can tell you guys, I miss the quietness of that Defender. I mean, they're so quiet in comparison to this Expedition. You know, I even ride in high on trails in the Expedition, and the motor, you know, the one thing that a lot of people want is they want a Defender with more horsepower and faster going. The only problem with that is, like I've said in several of the comments, is if you make the Defender faster or give it more horsepower, then you're going to make it louder in the cab, because for the motor to rev quicker, it has to be a more potent motor and stay ready to go. And you know, the Defender has decent power. You know, it's not a powerhouse, but you can drive it and not, you know, have to worry about not being able to hear as well. In the Expedition, it seems like the low and high, both of them are equally loud. It just, you know, it's a louder cabbed machine. But for what I like, I like the Expedition as a trail rig. Like I said, I think it would be extremely hard to turn the Defender into the same trail rig as the Expedition and not have an extremely wide footprint. And like I said, you would spend a lot of that money. So if you buy Expedition, your resale value isn't going to drop like if you bought a Defender and you put $10,000 or $12,000 worth of suspension in it. And that's the one thing to keep in mind. You know, usually upgrades on these machines, like shocks, wheels, tires, portals, bigger, you know, anything you put on them, a lot of these machines, when you go to sell them, nobody's going to pay you for those accessories. So if you can't easily take them off and move them over to your new machine, you're going to lose all that money. So if you buy an Expedition for $43,900 and you lose $5,000 on it, then, you know, who cares? If you buy a Defender and you put $12,000 in it, or let's just say you put $5,000 in it and then it depreciates $5,000, then you've lost $10,000. So, you know, keep that in mind when you're looking at all these machines and what you're really wanting to get. You know, a lot of these videos, I'm just trying to help you guys not make a decision that you buy the wrong machine for the wrong job. Both of them have their place, and both of them are excellent machines. But you just, you know, really try to buy the machine that's going to fit you best and work with you the best. So I do want to thank Chad at Executive Motors for letting us use this unit. He's got big plans for this thing. You guys can check them out. They ship stuff. They buy, sell, trade vehicles, a whole lot of other things. But he's got plans to put forward A-arms on this, bigger tires, portals, quite a few other things. But I'm really appreciative that he trusted me enough to let me use his unit. And I might have left him a little something in here for the whole deal of doing it. But I am really grateful that I've got people in this community that have supported me and my channel, and also all you guys that follow me, that reach out. I do my best to help everybody, and really appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this video helped you. Thank you. I love this new feature on the Super Duty. Turn signal. Your cameras automatically come on so you can see when you're turning and where you're turning. Look at the fender back there. Woo-hoo!